Welcome, Rejects, to one of the top pro MILF podcasts of Pennsylvania, the Full Send Rejects. We're your host, Kodack, where I make things worse.
I'm Rose.
Who?
I'm not reading that.
MILF! 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 This is Mother's Day weekend, okay? Have some respect for yourself.
I am Rose, who's a Kodack.
Well.
Wait, am I supposed to read this?
Well, she didn't. So I guess fuck the script, I guess. What's work to put into that?
Well, you should have told us we're supposed to read it.
Billy, you say all the time, I find things out in the podcast. So here you go.
This is the intro, guys. Come on.
I read my part perfectly fine. Just saying.
Say I'm Billy.
Yeah, I'm Billy.
Yay, we did it. We have another great episode this week, even though it sounds like a shit show, to celebrate Mother's Day weekend, kind of. I will be discussing a series of unsolved murders on redheaded women to celebrate the holiday.
Oh, and I will be discussing on how to deal with toxic mothers.
Fuck the script, huh? And I will be doing Ronald Gene Simmons, a mass murderer in Arkansas.
Ooh, that kind of ties into lots of things here. Okay.
Captain Bible Belt.
Very. Oh, well, see, I wasn't told.
Oh, look at how does it feel to be told last minute?
I put in there, just tell what it is. Okay, I improvise. Okay, I like you guys. I'm not gonna do my part. However, if you like an actual praise for mothers this holiday, we did just record a bonus episode, which I forgot to put out today. So it'll be out, well, before this episode comes out, but it will be out. Please go back and listen to it if you're interested in that. It's pretty much just up talking Rose.
Yes.
Who is the best MILF here?
I can't. It's not about being a MILF.
It's a big part of it.
It was a nice episode, and I have to say that I just didn't get a chance to say in the episode that I really do. I love you, and I appreciate you, our kids, and our family, and everything we have. It was such a nice episode. Anthony got emotional.
I don't feel.
He's such a little softy.
Can't wait to listen to it because I am not pulling my weight.
you just cried to a Pokemon episode, right? Softy.
Shush. Okay. How I feel during emotional episodes.
That came out 20 years ago.
During my prime tortured soul moments, yes, I'm a little, yeah.
But I'm a little softy. Okay.
It's good to be a softy. It lets me know that you're, not cold.
You know who's soft? The bear.
A bear?
The bear is the soft one.
Is this a term that I think it is?
I'm using the men versus bear argument.
Oh.
I would love to sit there and pet a bear. Who's a good bear? Who hibernated all winter?
They're silly little fellas.
Who got to sleep all winter?
Did you poop? Did you poop?
Wait, do they poop during hibernation?
They hibernate. That's when they clog themselves up.
But when they're sleeping, do they poop?
That's
no, they kind of cram their shit up.
Oh my god.
That's the point of hibernation.
I never thought of this
They
before.
slumber and they clog themselves up.
Yeah, they eat sticks and shit.
So there's a bunch of they're backed up and they.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's the point of having a slumber, so you're not waking up to having to go to the bathroom.
Well, I don't know, if they just chat in their sleep. It happens.
Well, but the first one of the year has to be rough.
Oh, those poor zookeepers.
What do you think of? Not the bears who have to shit out twigs and berries.
Well, it has to fucking feel great. I mean, if I didn't shit for 4 months or however long winter
they don't have enemas.
Still, listen, when I was in basic, I didn't shit for a fucking month, all right? That first shit felt so good.
Yeah, but after how of not being able to go, do you think they could just go after?
I'd imagine.
How did we get on the topic of bear shit? Thanks, Billy.
Well, you see, they gotta shit out stuff that doesn't digest, like pine needles and shit like that. So it's probably painful.
Yeah.
Oh, those poor bears. And we're worried about fucking panda bears going extinct.
when those, very, very regular bears in their neighborhood are just
Which,
you think they're eating our trash to survive.
which one's the
No.
regular bears? The brown bears?
Black bears,
Oh.
We
brown
have black
bears.
bears.
Yeah.
African
Plain Jane.
American bears, sorry.
Don't cancel us.
Oh no!
Oh no. Yogi Bear gets on. They said the wrong words.
Oh my god.
Sorry for being politically incorrect.
We're ranger bears.
Ranger bears. Da, 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 da. What's in your picnic basket?
I can't wait to go camping.
Well, you did go somewhere though recently.
Where do we go?
No, it's in the script, woman. You literally said last week. I'll talk about it next week after I go to it.
You said we went somewhere.
No, I said you went somewhere.
Oh, I went somewhere.
Yes.
You definitely said we.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
It's Swahili for you, okay?
He vicariously lived through me. No, I did. Me and Nicole had a very, very long anticipated sister date. It was we went to go see Toto and we went to go see Journey, and it was amazing. It was odd to be one of the younger people there. I saw grannies out there with their pruny titties and
Woo! Gilf.
bedazzled jeans. Like, they were showing more skin than I was in their 60s and 70s than I would ever show in my mid-30s. Like,
Yeah,
they had
Axel's probably out there fucking breaking a hip.
they're like, "You should have seen what I wore in Woodstock, honey." Like, they were just letting it like, I seen so many I was telling Anthony, the amount of titty they were showing, it looked like the California raisins were there.
That's why I wanted to go.
It was just an all-out show of just not
Baggy tits.
gravity definitely took its course. All right. It was just like it was fun. It was definitely fun, and we were so close to the stage, and it was just we were only 2 rows back, and it was such a good time.
Quite the
No
journey.
team of free spirits out there. This is what happens when you don't wear a bra.
Oh yeah. And fun fact, I didn't know that one of the lead singers of Toto did the soundtrack for Lion King. So when he started singing Hakuna Matata on the stage, I was probably one of the only people in the crowd that lost their shit because that was my time period where I grew up with Lion King. So when he started singing Hakuna Matata, I was like, wow, it makes no worries. I was totally fangirling because I had no idea he did the soundtrack. So it was definitely a cool moment for me.
Well, he didn't do the whole soundtrack.
No, but he did the main voice on the soundtrack for Simba, and it was just so cool just to find out. And I had no idea this whole entire. I spent how many years in my Lion King loving life not knowing who sang the soundtrack for that, and it was just the fact that I seen this man sing all these songs, and I knew a lot more Toto songs than I thought I knew.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't
thought
tell you one Toto song except for Africa, but I probably
Well,
know a shit ton.
shush. I thought I only knew Hold the Line in Toto. I mean, in Africa, and obviously
I just know Africa. I don't think I know much more Toto.
there's a lot. There's a lot. I couldn't. There's Roxana. There's a couple that I'd have to like see the set list to be. I'm like, oh my god, I know the song. It was pretty cool. Although to be someone that there was someone next to me, this older Spanish couple, I had them cracking up all night. She asked me if I was comedian, and if I didn't do comedy, that I should try stand up at least once in my life because I'd probably kill it. I was just roasting people. And
Get you in.
the problem is that I can't do a list, Billy. I can't just write jokes. I have to be able to just like scan a crowd and just completely annihilate people's feelings. That's the trauma in me. I have to be able to hurt somebody else's feelings to make everybody else feel good about themselves.
You know, it's
There's
not
whole
bullying.
specials to just crowd work.
And she goes to me and she goes, but the girl next to me, the old Spanish lady next to me was like, "Do you know what todo means in Spanish?" And I'm like, No."
Toad.
She goes, "Toto means pussy in Spanish."
Son of a bitch. Entire time.
So after that, she told me that, I started screaming, "I love Toto!" And she started laughing her ass off. And she's like, and it was just going around to people. I'm like, "Did you come here for some good Toto?" Just randomly started touching people around me, asking them that they came here for some good Toto. And Nicole
Best
was like,
photo I ever had.
Nicole was Nicole was like, she was adopted. I'm like, "She's my sister." It was a good time. I don't know if anybody has ever seen Journey, but these are men in their 70s.
It's impressive.
They've been doing music for 50 years. In the last 15 years of their touring, they've had some Philippine guy that they found on YouTube, and he has such an amazing voice. And I've seen him twice now, and I just if anybody ever plans on ever seeing such an amazing band, I would definitely recommend it before they stopped doing it ever. I know that they're coming to Pennsylvania at least one more time this year, and they're gonna be here with, like, what, Def Leppard
Think so.
and somebody else, but it's all the way down in Allentown, or Philly, one of the 2. But yeah, I can't wait. I definitely wanna go with you
That'll be fun.
before they stop touring.
Journey's just gonna be the Stones. They're never gonna stop.
But yeah, I think they're in their 70s, man. It's gonna
Look, the
take one.
Stones are in their 80s.
I know.
I don't know how they fucking do it.
I don't know, man. Freaking cocaine has to be.
I don't think cocaine. They don't do cocaine anymore.
Stones
Something.
are all sober, supposedly.
Yeah.
Life alert button, something, prune juice, something keeps them going. Banana bag, I don't know, but they move better than they're in their 70s and their 80s than I do in my 30s.
That's probably
Keith Richards is just a zombie.
It's probably to keep like going out and doing tours because once they know they stop, it's gonna be they're
They're
done.
done. They're done. I mean, even Ozzy's still making music.
You could thank Post Malone for that.
I'd love to see old.
I'm serious because he stopped making music and then Post Malone asked him to do that one song with him.
And all of a sudden he just started doing
What
it.
do you want from me or something like whatever
Yeah.
that song was. Take what you want from me. Yeah, whatever. I just know it's one of the lyrics. And Ozzy was like, fuck.
Take what you want from me.
Yeah, that song. And I was just like, fuck, I miss music. And then he made an album like 6 months later.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome. But yeah, definitely you don't realize how much you miss live concerts until you go to one, and then it gets you on a kick. Like, I was on a high after we saw, NF with Mikey, and
That's
it
such a
was
good one.
just it was you live on that for such a long time. It's like, you're like, "Oh, wow, that was such a good show," and then it dies down, and then you miss it again, and you're like, "Oh, I can't wait till the next one." And then you see how much concert tickets are, and
I
you're
don't
like,
give a shit.
"Oh."
I want to go.
Yeah, it's like you wanna go.
There's a few.
You find funds for them.
Time to take out a low.
After Disney, I don't care what we do. It's just kinda like it
Billy, you heard that.
so,
Right.
Listeners,
did.
you heard no. I got you. None of this.
Tournament of Death, we coming.
Let's go. We got ADTR. We got Paramore, I think.
Motionless
Blackfield
in
Brides,
White, yeah.
Motionless in White. Oh yeah,
I
here
didn't
we
remember
go.
Motionless in White.
Mhm.
Yeah, all these little. Yeah, and then you're gonna be like, "Come on, Billy, let's go," and he'd be like, "Bro, I ain't got the money to go."
I'm in my 30s. I can't do this.
But I don't do shows no more.
I'll go. I don't care.
Find somebody. I mean, I'll go with you. I don't care.
That's
I
the
mean, if you
spirit.
wanna go with friends, you can go with friends. You wanna go with me and do some shit. I mean, I think I'm too old for mosh pitting, but if
I got one mosh pit left in me. I gotta make it worth it. Okay, one more because this shoulder, whew, lately. Oh God,
You
Oh.
can't even get off the couch without pulling something anymore.
Hey, he said that was impressive.
It
'Cause
very much is impressive.
he did one of those, speaking of Lion King moments, it was, he did one of those Rafiki. "It is time." He knew that you crossed the, like, "Oh, you're 29. You hit puberty early, son." This normally happens when in your 30s.
Well, how about Rafiki over there? We're going somewhere else this weekend.
Yeah, speaking of, safari animals, I can't wait. Mother's Day weekend, we're going back to, Lake Tobias.
Yeah.
Billy, have you ever gone?
One of my core memories was when I was like 4 years old. I got bucked by a goat there, and my family makes fun of me for it till this day.
Bucked
Oh.
by a goat. Okay, we have one mission.
Billy the goat. Oh.
And I fucking hate goats ever since.
Billy the goat. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. All right, so tomorrow I'm gonna do some photoshopping. We might have a new logo for this podcast.
Already regret telling you guys.
So, if the pirates shit the bed like we knew they were gonna do, can we still do Bucktober, but with Billy the goat?
That'll be very bad of us.
Well, my team will be there at least.
Well, it's probably the first time since you were a kid.
What?
That's what goats are calling their babies, all right, kids?
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm thinking of sheep.
No, it's a kid.
I
Oh,
think it's a kid. Yeah, I was gonna say movie. Oh man.
I was 18 the last time they won the pennant.
okay, that's like a kid, okay, for someone of your age of age.
Oh, your geriatric age.
I didn't want to say it.
No, but I'm excited to go back. In it's actually one of the, if anybody who hasn't gone, it's a cheap date. It is for me because I have a child under 2 and I have a veteran, who are both free. So
Woo! Pinch this nerve to get free zoo tickets.
so I honestly only have to pay for me and Cole and a family of 4 going to a zoo and a safari ride for $40. I'm not going to complain.
It's a good time there too.
Yeah,
And they have 2 new giraffes.
and they had 2 new giraffes.
I'm gonna feed a giraffe.
They're gonna have a 3rd giraffe when you come. I mean, you've grown to your neck.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonder if Aline will feed a giraffe.
I can't wait to see her reaction, honestly.
Ooh,
Or
giraffe?
she's either gonna A, be completely amazed, or B, want nothing to fucking do with it, and she's going to pretend to be sleeping the whole time.
No, she's gonna freak out when I force her to feed a zebra or ostrich, whatever's at the front. And she's
zebras-
gonna walk to it.
The zebras and the ostriches are first. But yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a day of complete chaos. Like, she loved the Bronx Zoo, but they're all so very, very far away from her.
Expensive?
Expensive. It's very expensive. Very expensive. What we spent on the Bronx Zoo for just the kids is what I'm spending for a whole entire family of 4.
And this time I can walk. I'm not crippled like I was in the Bronx Zoo.
Oh yeah, you pulled something in your
That was when I tore
your
a
leg.
muscle.
That was after the tournament, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yep.
That's when I lost a battle to wet grass.
Thanks, softball. Can't
You
wait.
gotta terrify your daughter with a dinosaur bird.
What, a chicken?
No,
you know why
it's not
chickens
about
don't
the
have
ostrich.
nipples? Oh yeah, the ostrich. But you know why chickens
the
don't have
birds?
nipples?
One.
No, because when you go to the store to buy chicken tenders, there'll be holes in the package. Boing.
God damn it.
That wasn't funny.
You know when it's cold outside.
Shut
and
up.
Boom. Yeah, you're trying to stifle that laughter, aren't you, over there? Go ahead.
No.
Huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. What do you call a belt made of watches? A waste of time.
Why did I marry you? God damn it.
This penis. Okay, so next thing we have up here.
Next thing we have, because why not? Um,
I got moved at work,
Anthony
and
got
now I
moved, yeah.
can say some very borderline things that would normally get you sent to HR. I can now say around everybody. There's quite a variety of people there, and nobody cares. I'm back in like an environment where I belong.
He's around people.
I've been around people, but this time it's like it's
No,
a
like people, not just like boring ass people. Like
what's that?
you used to tell me that you do nothing but sit there and listen to podcasts and things on Spotify all day, and
Yeah,
now
because I
you
have my own
actually
office.
yeah, but now you actually sit here and you list and you can actually talk to people and you don't have to worry about censoring yourself
I haven't.
and you're around people.
I
No.
haven't had to censor myself.
Well, now you're like around your peep.
Now we
Well,
can do
no,
racist.
I wasn't gonna say
Exactly.
it, but
See, I was trying to say it without saying it, but he's like,
listen, let me put it in context. Today, a homosexual called me a faggot, okay? And I looked, I'm like, what? And they're like, I'm gay, I can say that. I'm like, okay, I can't argue that.
That happens to me every day.
What? You're making
nothing.
a face.
Yeah, we're yeah.
We're also starting the club of the Brotherhood of the Traveling Finger. It's men who will take a finger in the pooper. I am a founding member.
What's up, brother?
That's what I did. Because I got asked, like, so what's your thoughts on this? I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't know. She's barking up the
Hey,
tree. And
full your bodies.
I'm like, do whatever you want. I don't care at this point. And then he told this guy, asked someone else, and I just raised my finger. The Brotherhood of the Traveling Finger. Like the sister of the Traveling Pants.
Oh my god. So you have your own little club now.
We are forming a club, yes.
Okay.
We're
So when we go to your company Knoebels thing and I go, "What's up,
raise
brothers?"
the finger. That's what the other guy said is like, we're brothers here.
If you make it
We're-
no girls allowed, people are gonna start asking questions.
So far it is mostly men.
Oh my
And the thing is, we're trying to convince other men that it's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
god.
start asking questions.
Literally called somebody in, like, so how are you with this? And what did I say? It's like, if you don't like a finger in the bum, just have a drink of rum and you'll be okay.
I'm just going around to random coworkers, and I don't know if they work with you or not. And be like, "Are you a pinker stinker? Are you a pinker
No,
stinker?"
please don't do that because there will be important people there.
Like, do you wear traveling pants?
No, it's just the whole like because the building I've been in is just like inspections and whatever assembly. Where I'm at right now, it's like there's fucking drills going on and all this shit going on. It's my type of place.
And
And
kaboom.
he's gonna
Yeah,
slim down real fast. He went from sitting down to actually starting to move things around
yeah.
to where he's coming home and he's feeling it. It's like going to the gym for the first time.
And then today I realized, wait a minute, does my shoulder hurt because I'm picking up a solid pieces of metal with one arm and just bringing it over to the machine instead of using.
Yes.
Bill, that's a rhetorical question. All right, shut up. You're not.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, that may have something to do with it, but once it gets
I
used to it,
literally stopped today during the middle of that thing. I'm like, wait a minute, this is why my shoulder hurts. Son of a bitch.
what cartoon is it where like they have one jacked arm and one puny arm?
Is that Popeye?
May oh yeah, maybe
Quagmire.
Pop- Yeah,
No, I know
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah. That's him with the steel. Instead of using both hands like a normal person, he's just taking one arm and lifting a whole thing of steel instead of lifting it and like being smart about it. He's just straight up like one handing it to where he's just gonna be real jacked on one side of his body. He's gonna have like quads and arms and shit and strength.
I'm just saying, it was nice today at 2 o'clock. Somebody came in for me to inspect something. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, go fuck. I'm like, huh, okay, that's a fair retort.
I make the rules here. No, but I'm happy that you're happy. This is the first time. Usually he comes home. Today was so boring. Someone lost some nuts today, and I got mad.
I also learned a few months
Yeah.
ago someone got arrested at work, not the pedophile, but someone got arrested because they were high on fentanyl. Someone did turn off their phone
Nope.
because someone was high on fentanyl at work and had fentanyl pills in their pocket after being sent to rehab.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, huh, was that one of the job openings? Yep. Was it one of mine? Nope. Damn. No, it's a good time.
Yeah, he went from being like, "Oh, I'm just tired. It was a long day. I had to send some things back to some people because they messed up." And now he's like, "You wanna hear some fucked up shit that I heard today? I got to tell a fucked up joke today. You wanna hear what I
Oh, yeah, I
told?"
made someone walk out of the room today.
Like, he went from being to like, ugh.
Well, you see, yesterday, I think it was the same person who dropped the F-bomb at me that ended with, "igot," um, tried to challenge me to a terrible, like, inappropriate joke competition, and I'm like, "You do not know my repertoire."
You don't know how high I can fly.
Like today, like the guy I made walk out, someone asked him, "Hey, do you want to hear a good joke?" He has plenty of jokes. You want to hear one? I'm like, okay, here I'm on the spot, and I'm like, well, what would you want to hear? And the guy's like, he has plenty of racist. He's like, oh, I'll take a racist joke. I'm like, okay, here we go. He's like, why are you so ready for this? I'm like, I got a repertoire of stuff. Okay, I just,
I have an arsenal of fucked up shit.
yeah.
That's
Oh my god, someone said a joke today. I cannot say on this program, and it was wrong. It was, oh my god, it was many layers of things I did not see coming. There's like an abuse joke mixed in with like an abortion joke mixed in with something else. There were some twists.
Oh, okay.
But speaking of toxic mothers,
Well, as we dive in, let's get on to it. Do you have any topics that you'd like to add to your ability before we get on to this week's fucked up episode?
I got nothing. I go to work, I come home.
Oh, okay. Your neighbors have been behaving themselves.
Yeah, it's not super nice out, so they're not partying on a Thursday.
hmm, good for them. Hey, progress is progress.
It's something for that side of town.
It's only in the
All
50s, so they're chill.
right, you ready for me?
Oh, I did forget to bring something up.
What?
You want to get into politics, nerd.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to do more I want to just dive in more because we've had Trump, we've had Biden. I kind of wanted to dive
Kennedy, Kennedy.
I kind of wanted to
Bring
like
on the
do
worms.
more research into other um politicians that are going for the runnings this year just to see what's out there because we've had both of these people go in and I think they're both not that both of them haven't had their pros and their cons of what they've done, but I think they're both too geriatric for the country, honestly.
That's
We
Congress.
we need some young blood in there.
We need we need someone with a fresh set of eyes that's not gonna let all the other
We need someone in there who is, not 50 when the World Wide Web came out.
someone who started watching TV when it was, they remember color and not
Yeah.
black and white. Um, but it just for me, it's just, we've had Trump is just so arrogant and he's so pompous and just gross.
Okay, so there go some listeners.
And he
Yep.
but he did so many good things, don't get me wrong.
There they go the rest.
And then Biden completed like he took off and did like we were talking about last night. He kind of pushed some of the things that Trump started and completed them and did this and did that. But man, this man trips over his own 2 feet. He goes and makes speeches and sounds like he should be in a nursing home 18 years ago.
See, I want Ron Swanson's method. There should be like some physical test, educate or a fucking mental test, and you just sit there and like, do I press a nuke today? And make some important decisions and just have some women or men, we're in this day and age, or men, just brought to them for favors.
Yeah. I just don't want, I was telling Anthony last night about how there's all these
You just
congressmen.
went and agreed with that, like there was
Just
nothing.
shush. There's all these councilmen and women that are just I feel like they're pulling the strings and you have somebody like Biden that is just the pawn and the spokesperson and you have all these people like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain that are just doing everything else and
Yeah,
He's
those are called
just
billionaires.
yeah, but they're the country, and he's just the person to blame for it. And I
Yeah, it's
just
called an
feel
oligarchy. It's what caused Greece to fall
I
and Rome.
but that's what I'm saying. I want to dive more into it because I just feel like I want my vote, especially with watching American Horror Story Cult this year. The way that the the country is going, I just feel like I really want a vote to count towards something, and I want it to be the right thing. And I just seen we have two people that are running that have been there before, and it
Kennedy hasn't been there before.
exactly. But there's some who haven't been there before. Kennedy has some snakes.
No, he has worms. For if he no, if you didn't, if no one listened to this yet, he now claims that he had a worm in his brain. Yeah. It was like 2 days ago. I saw him like that. I fuck with this.
There's a lot of people with a lot of skeletons, and it's hard to be a politician without skeletons. I'm just gonna let that be. It's that is something that you just politics is one of the things. Religion and politics is one of the most debated things in the world that you could ever do,
I think
and
there's some other ones too.
there
Like, is
is.
a hot dog a sandwich?
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. Billy, go fuck yourself. We're not doing this again. I love you. I just hung up a picture of you in my office today.
Oh, a wedding one,
So
I assume?
I love you was not a sandwich.
See, I don't debate either one of those things, so I will gladly debate the hot dog sandwich.
No, I found that some extras. I have to bring some more in. That way if you want some for your office, from our photo shoot from the wedding.
I can't have things up in my office.
Oh, that's stupid. Can't be personal. Anyways, the extra prints from the photo booth. And
Mhm.
there's the one you and Billy. Who else was in there? Brett. Me, you, Billy, and Brett. And Billy was trash. We were just drunk. It was amazing, but I hung that up. However, it was toxic time. Speaking speaking of being toxic, I am going to jump into this week's episode. Happy Toxic Mother's Day. Hey rejects, so if you've been listening to our episodes in order, you know that I've covered mental illnesses last week and for Mental Illness Awareness Month. So I just wanted to stay on theme here. And with it being Mother's Day week, what better way to deal with toxic mothers? And if you haven't already listened to our Mother's Day special, happy Mother's Day to all you superhero moms out there. And to all those who feel attacked or offended on this episode, fuck you and shame on you for failing your children. You should have been a better mom. So, without further ado, let's get toxic.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought I'd type a good intro.
Well, that's to the point. Okay. Okay.
There's an obvious flaw in all of this Mother's Day celebrating. Many people don't have mothers worthy of celebrating. While culturally, we as people generally are programmed feeling connected to our mothers, there are women who have hurt their children so significantly that the bond is broken. Let's get this straight. We're not talking about the occasional bad mom who have been a little selfish, unfocused, or underperformed based on ideal standards of mom these days. We're talking about toxic moms, parents who operate in a consistent pattern of emotional, financial, mental, or physical abuse. If you have grown up with such a woman who has constantly torn you down, Mother's Day can be an especially hard 24 hours for you. Not only are you surrounded by reminders of the fantasy life that you could have and an emotional support of an emotional supportive parent, you are bombarded with questions on what you have planned for your mother or even requests from the demon herself. It's not fair and it's hurtful. You're not alone though. In fact, studies have shown that there are higher indications of that have been abused from their mothers than their fathers. While range of factors including reports in that rates from stressors that may impact with the statistic results in the same thing, which is always trauma. whether it's emotional, physical, or emotional. Growing up with a mother who has continued to be or unable to show love, patience, or respect is traumatic. This is your circumstance. Give yourself permission and the tools to practice self care on this Mother's Day and every day, really. So, fuck tradition. Here's ways to make this day better for you despite your maternal monster. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you okay, Billy?
he's doing something.
Okay. It got quiet, so I want to make sure everyone's good.
Just go.
Expect to be triggered, whether it's baiting a call from your mother, questioning from family members, watching others celebrate with their families. You will likely have an emotional response on or around Mother's Day to reach out. The sadness will hurt you and will ignite a response, and you have to decide whether or not to put those feelings aside or get ahead of it. Aim to direct your feelings towards a healthier coping mechanism.
My bad. I need you to drink.
That's okay. It just got real quiet, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't triggering anyway.
No, just I was thirsty.
Okay. Release yourself from obligation. Don't fake funk. While it's important to honor a role of a parent, do not force yourself to engage with your mother, who will likely re traumatize you. Dismiss the notion that you are bound to duty and that your mother is deserving of your time. You don't want to celebrate her because she did not honor, love, or protect you. That is a healthy and a natural response. Just say no. Break the cycle by drawing a solid boundary.
It's like Dare, but with mothers.
Yes.
Mayor.
Mayor. Accept your mother's behavior isn't a reflection of your worth. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Accept that your mother's behavior is an exception of your worth. Parents are tasked with nurturing and protecting of their children. When that isn't done, it often impacts a child's self esteem, sense of belonging, and happiness. Additionally, it's easy for the child of a toxic parent to suffer on some level of unworthiness. Your mother's choices are a reflection of her, not your worth. Go to therapy. Everybody hears this, but I am a big advocate in this, so I will say it again. Go to therapy. Someone with mommy issues, go to therapy. Mama trauma can impact your relationships, your work performance, friendships, and self esteem. Therapy can help break out the bad cycle and change your life. It is a space that can help you work through those issues and heal no matter your age, place, stage of your life. I will always be a big advocate for this. Go to therapy. You don't even have to have trauma. Just need someone to talk to. Go to therapy. Of course, though, every situation is different, but toxic parents are difficult to deal with on the best of days and straight up impossible to deal with on the worst days. If you have a toxic mom, chances are she's pushed you away, guilted you, shamed you, blamed you, engaged in gaslighting or passive aggressive behaviors, or maybe even worse. In a relationship, it could be stressful. You might even get to the point where you can no longer want to have the contact with her. Whatever the situation may be, sending a card, a flower, anyway, anything can be uncomfortable. Making a phone call or meeting up in person always runs the risk of putting yourself in a bad emotional spot. Sometimes no contact is the best way, but it will be up for you to decide on what is the best course of action for you. Focus on what feels right to you. Before you send out a card out of guilt, brace yourself for a stressful phone call. Stop and listen to your gut. Are you acknowledging your mom because you want to or because you feel you have to? If you're feeling uncomfortable about reaching out to her this year, it's likely because it's a valid reason. If you haven't contacted her in a while and don't feel comfortable because you don't want to make it seem like you once again she's making it make it about herself again, then don't do it. Whatever the reason may be, look out for yourself. And if that means ignoring her for the day altogether, that is also completely okay. Send a quick text. If you would like to acknowledge your mom but aren't quite sure on how to do it, a quick text will be your best bet. Unlike a phone call or social media post, a text allows you to be more in control of any conversation that follows, should you be able to want to avoid having any longer of a conversation. Celebrating someone else. Mother's Day doesn't always have to be about a biological person who raised you. Instead, you could focus on the attention on somebody who's more important in your life: a wife, a sister, a cousin, a grandmother, an aunt. For example, somebody else in your life who's made a tremendous, it could be your best friend, somebody you grew up with. It could be anybody who's a mother. It can be anybody. I mean, you have so many people, especially you. I mean, Billy, you probably have nobody, so many people in your life that tremendous parents that just you know, done something good for you in your life, and you're like, wow, thanks, friend. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
someone who's treated you like a mom who shouldn't have, but they did anyways.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a wound we're digging into.
Sue.
Yeah.
Sue is my girl.
But you have a lot of people. I think even um Karina at some point.
No, Corinne is the sister.
Like,
That's what we call each other, sister and brother.
but she was definitely good to you. You've had a lot of people who were really good to you. Even if I'm not just saying just people in general, I've had people who have done tremendous things. I don't even look at them like parents, and they just it's a good spot. They just put me in a mood to where I'm like, wow, you took care of me better than I could ever imagine. It's always good to have somebody to celebrate somebody. And last but not least, this is my favorite one. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. If all else fails, make the day about you. Buy yourself flowers. Take a bubble bath. Give yourself a foot massage. Write a write a letter to yourself, a thank you note for being strong and supportive presence for your own self. Saying, "Hey, listen, I've had a good year. I've done a lot. I've grown a lot. Thank you, self, for being so good to yourself." It's always good sometimes to have that moment to be good to your own self. Sometimes a little recap on being good to yourself is always a good thing. I should have known this was coming.
I can buy myself flowers.
However, you may decide to celebrate this day, know that you are stronger and better off without any toxic loved one, whether or not it's a mother, father, or relative or person in your life. I hope everybody out there has a wonderful, happy Mother's Day. And I hope everybody who has a toxic mother has a very happy, non toxic Mother's Day. And that concludes my mental illness toxic Mother's Day special.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm just thinking of Britney Spears.
You guys were very, very quiet throughout that episode, so I felt like I was like hitting some.
You're digging at wounds, man.
I felt
Yeah.
like I was trying to be positive and upbeat, knowing that I was trying to fight through my own traumas. I feel like, because let me just say, Rose is on some new meds, and my dreams aren't treating me right.
Yeah,
But
good.
yeah, it's good time, and I have some parental issues that are haunting me in my own dreams. However, this was also a difficult one to write, let alone uh reread. So I was trying to be as upbeat as possible, but based on the silence of this episode, I feel like I just did nothing but emotionally attack you guys. And I felt like instead of reading to a full grown co-host, I was reading to little kids in a class.
When's nap time?
Yeah. I'm
I want
sorry.
my juice.
I'm gonna go get you guys some animal
Hey,
crackers.
Yingling.
Hey, I went and got my own juice.
Yay.
The nectar of the Schuylkill County gods.
Yingling?
I'll say, was it Vlad
Years.
and okay.
Here.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it Vlad and Sprite?
Oh, that's right. You did slow down on drinking.
Oh.
I
Well,
haven't drank since your party.
Oh, I haven't drank since this sip right now.
You're so brave.
My therapist says it's okay.
however,
She says, as long as it doesn't affect my mental health, it's okay.
well, to be fair,
I don't drink during the week usually.
we don't we don't do that. We are weekend warriors. And even with that, his birthday party was probably the most we've had to drink since the batch party.
Yeah.
I think that's most people drank and was been there since probably around then.
But we don't because we don't do that anymore between both of our work schedules and
I wake up
the children and
before
our
4
health
o'clock.
issues. Yeah, we're too old for we're too old for that drinking shit
I take
anymore.
more pills for my health than I do shots.
We got sponsorabilities.
Yeah. The fact that I'm gonna have to buy one of those Sunday through Monday pill things because I have to because it's getting to the point to where I have
Yo, let me know when you find them. I'll give you money.
I'll buy them on Amazon
That's
and
why the fact that I'm fucking excited for that.
yeah, right? I'm gonna have to
We were
buy it
just
for a
talking about getting them.
yeah, my Topramax, I had to go for like 2 weeks of one pill and then it has to go to double two pills. And I'm like, oh God, that's too much math for me to math right now. And then
Sounds
I
like
have to
those
take
steroids.
yeah, and then I have to take another pill for that. And then on top of that, they want to do a study. Then I have to do a steroid for a week and then I have to do blood work. I have so much shit going on. I feel like my body needs to take a reset. And then I have to do a sleep study. It's a lot. But anyways, let's get back on speaking of praying, what's this Bible belt?
So I was just about to ask, do we work on Audible? Because I read your first sentence here about keeping the story in the Bible Belt, but I'm the one that talks about the Bible Belt.
Oh wait, you guys are both doing a Bible belt.
Apparently.
It's not the Bible Belt murder. It's just in the Bible Belt.
All right, fuck it. Send it.
Oh, see, I completely skipped over Ronald and I went to Gene Simmons and I'm like,
That was the
oh,
first time I saw. I was like,
I'm like, sweet,
I was about to play Detroit Rock City, get the ball moving here.
look out.
I went a different route and called him Farouk because that's Farouk's real name.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Let's
let's
hear
go.
about Farouk.
All right.
Oh, I fixed it. Oh, I get to say it gets worse now.
Oh, mine gets worse too.
Oh, it gets so
No,
it's
no,
gonna
no.
get so worse.
Mine gets worse as in I found a reference to something else and I'm like, I can't do it. So take it away.
We didn't start it off with my cat worse.
Oh, this guy has a 7-year-old daughter with his daughter. Anyway.
Spoiler alert.
Speaking of bad,
In an effort to keep my story in the Bible Belt with Kodack, see, I told you I fixed it.
Yay.
I stumbled upon the largest mass murderer in the great state of Arkansas. This guy was really having a bad time around the holidays, and I kind of get it. He went overboard, but family gatherings get a little dicey when your daughter is also the child of your daughter.
Uh,
Today we'll meet
oh,
Ronald Gene Simmons, who went on a murder spree during Christmas week in 1987, which seems a lot closer than it rightly should. I will also be referring to our subject as Farouk from time to time for our wrestling fans, which is probably just me.
Wrestling. Was he Air
Ronald,
Force?
he was in the Air Force. Ronald Gene Simmons was born in Chicago, Illinois, July 15th, 1940. Within 2 years of Farouk's life, his father passed away from a stroke on January 31st, 1943. Simmons' mother, Loretta, wasted no time and married William Griffin, a civil engineer in the U.S. Army. By 1946, Williams was restationed to Little Rock, Arkansas, and moved the family with him. In the fall of '57, Simmons dropped out of high school to join the U.S. Navy. He was first stationed in Bremerton, Washington, where he would meet Rebecca Ulibarri. The two would hit it off and by 1960 would be married in New Mexico. Simmons was discharged from the Navy in 1963, but 2 years later would enlist with the best goddamn armed forces in the world, the U.S. Air Force.
Goddamn right. Fight, win, motherfuckers. Unless
You're
there's lightning.
welcome.
Thank you.
Over his 20-year military career, Ronnie won the Bronze Star, the Vietnam Gallantry Cross as an airman, and the Air Force Ribbon for excellent marksmanship. He officially retired from the Air Force in 1979.
I have one of those.
The excellent marksmanship?
No, the Vietnam one. No, yeah, or to get the marksmanship, it's actually it's not that difficult.
Well, I don't know what fucking Bronze Stars mean.
Bronze Star is like you do some heroic shit, you did something good in like in the theater of war or something.
Like it's not that hard.
No, it's you do some heavy metal shit to get that, but yeah.
You ever killed somebody, kid?
Yeah, how it works.
While he was winning all these medals and awards, he and Becky were getting busy. They had 7 children over the 18 years and were living in not great conditions in New Mexico. However, in 1981, the Cloudcroft, New Mexico Department of Human Services opened an investigation into Farouk. Reports claim that he fathered a daughter with his actual daughter, Sheila, when she was 17 years old. When the noose began to tighten on Ronald to probably be arrested, he managed to move his family across the country to Ward, Arkansas, essentially running from his issue, assuming it would just be swept under the rug if he just disappeared. It was mentioned that Ronald became abusive with Becky and the children sometime around here, but he probably wasn't winning Father of the Year prior to this either.
I will say this is not a good look for the Air Force.
I think this is the second murder I've done that was in the Air Force.
There's a few of them.
Maybe I'm just attacking you.
Listen, you can say all you want about the Air Force, but we had Morgan Freeman, okay? It equalizes.
That's fair.
And Bob Ross.
What was he just the guy that like talked through the radio?
Close. He was a radio technician or a repair technician or something like that.
Yeah, but when you listen to that, come on now.
Did you know every morning Morgan Freeman narrates the sunrise?
That'd be awesome.
As he goddamn should.
Mm-hmm. True facts with Morgan Freeman.
By 1983, the family was on the move again, this time near Dover, Arkansas. Somehow Ronnie managed to find a 13-acre plot of land sporting 2 mobile homes slapped together to make one quadruple wide. The house had no indoor plumbing or even a telephone. But being the thinker that he was, Ronald had the kids go out back of the makeshift mobile home mansion and dig trenches to use for bathrooms. While the kids were busy digging, Ronald constructed a 10-foot tall, pieced together privacy fence, blocking off any potential onlookers to what actually goes on the property. He dubbed the property/compound Mockingbird Hill.
Daddy's gonna build you a Mockingbird Hill.
During this time, Farouk was struggling to make ends meet because he had 7 fucking kids.
Oof.
There were other reasons money wasn't easy for him, though. One of his positions as an accounts receivable clerk for a mobile freight company, he was forced to quit due to several unwanted sexual advances to female coworkers, especially one named Kathy Kendrick. Her name doesn't matter now, but it will.
Hmm.
After leaving the company, he worked at the Sinclair Mini Mart owned by Russell Taylor. Again, doesn't matter now, will later. He unexpectedly quit this position on December 18th, 1987. Here's where it gets fun.
Wait. Hi, Liz.
She's just still in the living room. On the morning of December 22nd, 1987, Ronald went out to pick up Christmas presents from the local Sears. He had also stopped at the local Walmart to pick himself up a new toy, a .22 caliber pistol.
Oh no.
When he arrived home, his plan kicked off. Ronald would proceed to bludgeon his wife and his eldest son with a crowbar. To make sure the job was done right, he shot them several times in the head and chest with his new toy. However, these weren't the only 2 people in the home, as Ronnie's 3-year-old granddaughter was also in the house. I assume in an effort to take it easy on her, Ronald just strangled the life out of the little 3-year-old body. He would dump all 3 bodies into one of the shit trenches he made his children dig years ago. It gets worse.
Billy,
Shut the fuck up.
you you're 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 not a nice person.
I'm not.
It gets worse.
Why do you write stories like this?
Okay, it's not fair that I had the least worst story of the week.
Well,
This is bullshit. Is this what I put you guys through all the time?
yeah.
All right, so next week I'm talking about daffodils.
4 more of the Simmons children were due home from school. It was their last day, and they were excited for their vacation, even if their home life wasn't the greatest. When they arrived home, Ronald told them that he had presents for all of them, but he could only give it to them if he could talk to each one of them in private. Ronald began with his 17-year-old daughter, Loretta. He subsequently strangled her and then held her head in a rain barrel until the bubbles stopped. He continued doing this with all the children, none of them being any of the wiser. These kids were also dumped into the shit pits out back. Ronald celebrated the newly quiet house by getting wasted for the next part of the plan.
So I don't want to know the answer to this question. I want to ask it. You said 4 children. Okay. What was the age of the youngest child?
Don't ask me questions.
Like 7 or 6, somewhere in there.
Oh, why do I see 20 months? Hey, go ahead. Go ahead. Proceed.
Oh, hang on, give me a second. I still have the article up. I can tell you.
I'm just gonna cry on the inside and finish my beer.
8. 8 was the youngest.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
Awesome.
Mind you,
Love that.
he has a 3-year-old already.
Oh, don't just feel free to continue.
Okay. Because it was the holidays, the remaining children were invited over on December 26th to celebrate the holiday cheer. The first to arrive were his son Billy, his wife
Hey.
Laura, and their 20-month-old son Trey. Both
Uncle
Billy and
Bill.
Renata were shot dead upon entering the house, and the 20-month-old must have really pissed Ron off because he drowned Trey.
Aw.
The next to arrive to the party were his daughter Sheila and her husband Dennis. She also had her 21-month-old son Michael and 7-year-old Sylvia. If we don't remember Sheila, she was the daughter that has a daughter with Dad. Sylvia is that daughter.
Oh.
He again shot Sheila and Dennis as they walked in the door, then strangled his daughter and his grandson. He left these bodies in the house, all covered with their coats, except for Sheila. She was lucky enough to be covered in one of Becky's best tablecloths. What a gentleman. He then wrapped the infants in garbage bags and disposed of them in the family cars from all the people coming to the house.
I don't know which one of you makes you want to cry right now.
Following the murders, Ronald simply went about his day. First, he ran to the local Sears again, this time to pick up gifts he had ordered that hadn't come in on time. I don't understand why he was making the effort to pick up the late presents, unless they were secretly for him, but I can only really speculate that. Following his shopping adventure, Ronald stopped at the town tavern where he had a couple drinks before going back to his house. When he arrived home, he continued to drink and watch TV. Mind you, there's still bodies scattered throughout the house.
So my theory, and this is without knowing anything that comes up next here, he went to the store to try and come up with some like defense plan in case he got caught. Like there's an alibi he was witness somewhere.
No.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. So this sounds like this comes up. Continue. Go ahead. I love this. It's great story.
He would share the house with his dead family until the following Monday, the 28th, where he would begin the third part of his plan. In the morning, Ronald went to the nearby Walmart again to purchase yet another 22. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
That's not funny. Oh, it's so fucked up.
His first stop was at a nearby law firm. He was here to see Kathy Kendrick, who rejected and reported him for sexual advances at the freight company. See, told you she'd come back.
Okay, can we see where this goes?
Ronnie just walked in and shot Kathy 4 times in the head, immediately killing her.
Oh,
Cool. What a nice guy.
oh my God.
Following an obviously bad meeting with the lawyer, Ronnie drove over to the local oil company, which was owned by Russell Taylor. Yeah, remember him?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I tried to put humor in here.
You succeeded. Okay.
Ronnie drove over to the local oil company, which was owned by Russell Taylor. Remember him from Mini Part? Yeah. Ronald fired at Taylor, wounding him, but he would actually survive. The one murder on this list that doesn't make sense is another worker from the oil company, James Chafin. I assume Chafin intended to stop Ronald, but ended up murdered for it. He had also fired at another employee, but missed. Expert marksman, my ass.
Hey, you're allowed 3 missed shots, all right? That is the actual rule. I think 3 or 4. It's either 20 out of 23 or 21 out of 24. Actually, 21 out of 24, I think.
After he had shot the owner of the mini-mart and likely assuming he was dead, Simmons drove to the actual mini-mart that he had resigned from just 10 days prior. Upon entering, he opened fire on 2 of the employees of the store, again, only wounding them, but probably expecting them to be dead. Again, expert marksman, my ass.
Hit's a hit. Just
You know that commercial where that one guy just smacked one person, just starts smacking everybody? They're like, hey, just starts smacking the shit out of everybody.
I don't know this one.
You know what I'm talking about, Billy?
I do not, actually.
Oh god, I have
What's the product?
where it's like you can't smack my child, smacks the mom, and just randomly just goes on a smacking spree.
No,
Just
that's
smacks a cop. The cops show up to de-escalate the situation. Sir just smacks the cop, just smacks the shit out of everybody in his path.
see, you're bringing that up for this part of today's episode, where probably should have brought up for the first part of today's episode. Because this isn't a commercial, this is a memory
Okay,
for at least one of us.
R.I.P. No, I'm just this is you guys remind me of like no matter it doesn't have to be someone who's fucked him up. This guy's just fucking he's murking everybody.
Yeah, he's on a warpath.
If this is like John Wick, except going after the mob, he was just going after people.
He's
Like the first half of the movie stays the same, but the second half is like a psychotic break, and he's just going out, just fucking
he's just playing the purge
Yeah.
game, and he's the only person that's playing. Anyways, go ahead.
His next stop was at the motor freight company where he had worked. After he had found her, Simmons shot his ex-supervisor Joyce Butts twice, obviously blaming her for being forced to quit.
But
Ronnie's getting a little sloppy because the supervisor was also only wounded. That's a hit. After he took down the supervisor, he held another employee at gunpoint, forcing her into an office of the building. Here, he instructed her to call the police, telling her, I've come to do what I wanted to do. It's all over now. I've gotten everybody who wanted to hurt me. I just wanted to kill Joyce. When the cops arrived, fully expecting a firefight, Simmons simply handed over his weapon and surrendered. Through his rampage, Simmons had killed 16 people and wounded 4 others. He was locked up that evening, but the authorities had no idea what was in the house until the next morning.
imagine that surprise.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Can't wait.
The authorities arrived at his home the next morning, not even remotely expecting what they walked in on. Next to the presents under the tree, police immediately saw the bodies that were left in the house. After the initial shock of the bodies in the home, they discovered the infants in the trunks of 2 separate cars of the family. Finally, they made it to the trenches out back where they found the remaining family members. The bodies were soaked in kerosene in an attempt to cover up the smell.
Talk about gaslighting.
Sorry.
When he was initially questioned by the police, Farouk gave no response as to any type of motive, but it seemed pretty apparent to me that at least he was out for revenge against people who he had felt wronged him. When investigators brought up his family, his lip quivered, but he offered no explanation as to what they did to deserve their fate. After a psychiatric evaluation, Ronnie was deemed sane and would stay in trial. Actually, 2 trials. His defense tried to get all the charges tried at the same time, but he would ultimately have 2. one for his family and one for the people who he believed wronged him. His first trial for Kathy and Jim was held on May 12, 1988, where he was ultimately sentenced to death. Following the verdict, he had told the judge that he doesn't want anyone to appeal the ruling or try to stop it. Basically, he just wanted to die. However, one life sentence obviously wasn't enough, as he was back in court in early 1989 and on February 10th was again sentenced to death. When a prosecutor presented a really weird letter Simmons had written to his daughter Sheila that was found in a lockbox, or like a safety deposit box, he actually punched the prosecutor in the face and tried to get a bailiff's gun. The letter was a lot of love-hate stuff, blaming Sheila for ruining his life for admitting he was Sylvia's father. Um, Again, after the verdict, he informed the judge that he didn't want any appeals or attempts to overturn the verdict, seemingly content with his fate. Although another death row inmate, Jonas Whitmore, tried to fight the death penalty, he was unsuccessful, and Simmons wasn't well liked on death row for not really fighting against it, and he actually had to be separated from the other inmates.
Huh, nerd, you actually want to die.
On May 31st, 1990, the comeback kid Bill Clinton, then governor of Arkansas, signed the execution warrant. The courts actually worked quick on this, and on June 25th, 1990, Ronald Gene Simmons was administered the lethal injection. Supposedly, he lasted upwards of 20 minutes after he was injected, but I think this is just kind of like a legend, as the normal time is usually less than 10 minutes. No family member claimed the body on account of his family was already waiting in the graveyard. He was buried in a potter's field in Lincoln County, Arkansas.
It was a monster's mash. A graveyard.
That concludes Ronnie Simmons' Christmas Vacation.
How dare you bring in my favorite Christmas movie into this?
Oh, I did it to myself too.
Fair enough.
Clearly, this guy was pretty much over everyone's shit and was out for revenge for people he felt had wronged him. One of the possible motives of him going off the deep end was he heard a rumor that Becky was finally going to leave him, and he just couldn't let that happen. Obviously, Ronald wasn't the best guy to begin with based on the whole incest R-word of his daughter, who he birthed a child with. But I don't think the family had any idea that was going to happen, and the other victims sure as hell had no idea. I have no idea what next week is going to be because of who I am as a person, but hopefully it will be a little brighter than Ronald Gene Simmons.
Yeah, please. Please.
Make it worse now, bitch.
It goes
Okay,
from
I want you to know something. I left stuff out of my fucking topic tonight because things get worse. Don't tempt me.
it goes from darker to darkest, or to just different shades of dark.
Mine, I don't think I had the darkest topic this week. It involves a fucking serial killer.
Oh, so yours is just gray.
I mean, I make a reference to something that's bad, but I'm like, this is fucked.
Yours is
So-
elementary compared to mine and Billy's.
Well, it involves the death of gingers. So, like,
Oh, so who cares? There's
Yeah,
there's
they-
no souls involved.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but that is what
Got
I'm
no
doing today.
souls in 'em.
We're gonna run with it.
We will drive with it because these are the red-headed murders, also known as what Billy's referenced with the Bible Belt, the Bible Belt Strangler. These were a series of unsolved murders from 1978 to 1992, with the victims primarily being red-headed females who were either hitchhiking or engaged in prostitution, the old lot lizards, with a few bodies still unidentified. These murders range from Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Hence the name Bible Belt, because four of these states, Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, are in the Bible. Bodies were often discovered on the side of the road, and authorities believe one person is responsible for these deaths. However, there are theories that more than one person could be responsible. Now, plot twist, there is no positive identity on the killer or killers. So I will primarily be looking at the victims and some timeline bits where I'll be starting off with Lisa Nichols, whose body was found on September 16th, 1984, along Interstate 40 near West Memphis, Arkansas.
So wait, you're telling me that there's this person still out there?
We'll get there. Spoilers.
Okay, cool.
Her possibly, possibly not.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool, cool, cool.
her body was found with only a sweater on and was a resident of West Virginia. She was actually not identified for 9 months, and it took even longer to notify her family, suggesting she was estranged from her family, which is a common theme throughout this topic here, these series of killings.
Oh. Thought you meant this episode.
Well, now that we're talking about toxic mothers and terrible fucking
Family members.
yeah, it kind of does fit. Especially because when she was confirmed through her fingerprints, she was a Floridian.
Oh, okay, cool. Tag
Yeah,
me.
suck it.
Oh, okay. Toxic mothers like Floridians. Okay. Bad bro. Didn't know I hurt your feelings. Okay.
Well, it was actually. Wow, you didn't pay attention because I said she was a resident of West Virginia.
Yeah, which
She
attacks
stayed.
you in a way.
West Virginia? What the fuck? Hold on. She stayed with a family in Florida. It was like a group home, whatever, one of those things. Yeah. She fled West Virginia for Florida, which has horrible things about West Virginia.
Still true, though. Still true.
That is.
Mountain Mama.
Take me home to the interstate. There are bodies. So on January 1st, 1985.
Happy New Year.
Cheers. A body was found down an embankment on I-75 near Jellicoe, Tennessee. Due to an advanced state of decomposition of the body, she was believed to be dead for over 72 hours and was strangled to death.
Right.
She was Caucasian, between 18 and 25, clothed, had curly red hair, and was found wrapped in a blanket that had semen on it.
Oof.
Suggesting some hard R's have occurred.
Foolery.
Some shenanigans, some unwanted shenanigans have occurred. You might regret that in this sentence, though. This woman had notable features to include freckles, scars, 2 false teeth, and was about 10 and 12 weeks pregnant.
Ooh.
God damn it.
Once again, make comments for Kodack finishes.
This goes to show you that we don't read ahead.
And no, it just says that we're so fucking used to doing these stories from this podcast where, like, we're just
know, like, things are gonna get worse.
yeah,
and
yeah.
we just wait for the fucker.
Like last year, it was like, oh, there was a moment of silence. Just had a shock, and now it's like, oh,
Are we desensitized?
That's it?
That's it.
What? There's no pigs eating a corpse. What the fuck?
Where's the
Cute
bacon?
So it took about 3 decades for her identity to be discovered when in 2018, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office used fingerprints to identify her as Tina Marie McKinney, farmer of Indiana. She was 21 at the time of her death and was last seen with a trucker in Kentucky. I did say she was 10, 12 weeks pregnant. She also left behind a daughter who was very young at the time, and her family actually did report her missing in Indiana. However, because no laws mandated it, the state never entered her report into the national database.
Back to blue.
Back to blue.
Back
Yeah,
blue.
great work again. It really amazes me how so many of these like serial killer cases continue because some cop didn't do a job right. Really makes me a little worried.
Hope I never go missing.
So to answer one of your questions before, in 2019, DNA evidence connected Jerry Leon Johns as the murderer. However, he died in prison in 2015,
Rip.
serving time for an 87 kidnapping and assault of Linda Shake in Tennessee, which was 2 months after the farmer's death. Linda actually survived her encounter after being strangled, bound, and she was dumped, presumed to be dead, but she lived and escaped. And like most of her victims here, she had the signature red hair.
Oof. Remind me not to dye my hair anymore.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. On the sound, unless they, want that hair. But, no more worry.
Okay.
On December 18th, 2019, a grand jury in Campbell County, Tennessee, agreed that if he was alive, John would have been indicted for the murder of McKinney and possibly some of these other women.
Ooh.
On to the next body. April 3rd, 1985, skeletal remains of a young girl was found 4 miles southwest of Jellicoe, Tennessee, near a strip mine. I think I passed through here once. Not in this time period. This is before I was even alive, okay? Just throwing that out there. Immediately regretted what I just said. She was estimated, I forgot about this, estimated to be between 9 and 15 years old. and was deceased for about 1 to 4 years. Forensic units recovered 32 bones from the scene, including her skull, which was complete enough for a facial reconstruction attempt. A few items were found near her body, including a necklace, plastic bracelet, some clothing, and size 5 boots. Her hair and eye color was unknown due to the state of decomposition, but the manner of her death and that she was dumped led investigators to believe that she was related to these killings. Now, over the years, advancements in forensic analysis shows the victim was not native to the area. She was most likely born in Florida or Central Texas,
Oof.
and later lived in the Midwest, Rocky Mountain states, the Southwest, or the Pacific coast. And the way they did this is they just analyzed the water inside of her body and looked at isotopes.
Oh,
It it was pretty intense how they did this.
that's actually pretty smart.
There is another victim here where I bring that up, but because I did that and then I came back, oh yeah, this happened for this unfortunate victim as well. That's how they're able to identify exactly where she grew up due to like the decomposition of the isotopes in her body, and then kind of identifying where in the country she lived afterwards.
If the water, you're
Yeah, you gotta think Pennsylvania water where we live is gonna be different from Texas. There's different chemicals, there's different percentages of different things.
We got coal.
Yeah, you gotta think. We're gonna have like I'm not saying there's like 5% coal dust in our water, but like they can see like down to like the hundredth of a percentage.
yeah, like when you change, like if you, yeah, because you have more rocks and shit.
Yeah. It's actually, yeah, because there's different sediments, there's different topsoil, shit like that
Yeah.
in the water. It's just
Florida's
we're-
more dirt and mud, where you have more stones and rocks.
yeah, you have the Everglades stuff down there. You have fucking the remnants of animal fecal matter that are
Yoink.
Ooh.
You thought about a swamp puppy, didn't you?
moving on. Oh my god. I saw one today. My service cut out at work. I couldn't finish it. He had a fucking giant python. Moving on.
Yoink.
August 30th, 2022, a company called Othram Laboratories, which comes up frequent in this topic, identified her as Tracy Sue Walker of Lafayette, Indiana. They were able to trace Tracy, 2 family members who lived in Lafayette, including her mother, who reported Tracy missing twice. But again, Indiana never filed it with the national records. She was last seen with friends at the Tippecanoe Mall and was 15 at the time of her death. There's more, don't worry.
Cool. Can't wait.
In March 31st, 1985, skeletal remains of a ginger woman was found in Pleasant View, Tennessee. I didn't think this was a pleasant image for this name of this town, so I looked at the town, which was basically just business parks. So just think of a nice sunset over a mountain, because Tennessee is actually really pleasant to look at.
It really is.
Just want to put that nice little brief moment of just niceness, some serotonin into you before I just crush you again.
Just that little glimpse of hope.
We're coming back down because authorities believe she was killed 3 to 5 months before her discovery from an unknown cause. However, there is believed that she's connected the murders due to her red hair and proximity to the interstate.
Cool.
Now, she's the first victim that was actually fully dressed. She was a Caucasian and was somewhere between 5 feet and 5 feet 2 inches.
Okay.
I leave out the height of most of these women, but they were fairly short.
Okay, my height. Cool.
Region between like 4'8", 4'6" to like I think the tallest was like 5'4". She was also believed to be in her 30s at the time of death.
Cool. Just love.
You're never dyeing your hair red.
Just that's my favorite color too.
Hey,
to dye my hair, and I just
look at
haven't
me.
done it in so many years,
Look
and
at
I'm
me.
just never doing it again.
Stop playing your game and look at me. You started the show with toxic mothers, okay? Brittany's back, bitch.
I'm dyeing my hair red tomorrow. I'm going to the store and dyeing it red.
Don't go on the interstate.
Well, and I'm gonna walk to work
Well, on July 2020, go ahead, do it. Walk to work.
on a Friday in shorts.
Okay, no, you work in Wilkes-Barre. Don't do that. You work in Wilkes-Barre, okay?
Exactly. There won't be no ginger belt. There'll be the urban belt. You have to worry about.
Is that what gingers call their nether regions, the ginger belt?
I don't know.
We gotta find some gingers and ask. Taking a poll. In July 2023, the Tennessee Bureau of Identification in Horham Incorporated identified her as 23-year-old Michelle Levon Inman of Nashville, Tennessee. Evidence of overcrowding in her mouth was a key thing of identifying her, a key aspect. On April 1st, April Fools, just kidding, 1985, a body of another woman was found inside of a refrigerator in Gray, Kentucky, along Route 25, with her death being ruled as suffocation. She was believed to be dead for a few days and was found completely nude except for 2 pendants, one a heart and one of a gold eagle, along with a pair of socks. That's why fuck you my with me.
I was gonna say, at least she was wearing socks.
Now, what's interesting about this one was other truckers reportedly heard this victim asking for rides to North Carolina over the CB radio at all trucks, basically share.
What was she offering?
No, like she was trying to get rides to North Carolina.
They always offer something.
She could have been, but that was not included because, some people have respect for the dead.
Okay.
Gas, ass, or grass, buddy.
Listen, smoke grass, eat ass, okay? Now, on a kind of a wholesome moment here, 500 people descended onto the small town to attend her funeral because she didn't have anybody. An autopsy determined her to be between 24 and 35 years old, between 4'9" to 4'11", and to ruin that little nice serotonin, she recently gave birth.
Well,
What
that
kind of age gap is that?
Well, this is the 80s. This is the best they could do at that time.
I was just about to do something really, really inappropriate.
You probably shouldn't have. It gets worse. On October 1st, 2018, Knox County Sheriff's Office, I'm curious.
A couple sentences ago, what'd you just say? She was a what?
A victim?
No. They were in a what? Where was the funeral?
A small town?
Just a small town girl.
On October 1st, 2018, Knox County Sheriff's Office announced the positive identity of the victim using DNA matching with her daughter, who was born before that, who was living in a lonely world because her mother died. She did not take the small town train because she was 6 weeks old at the time of the death of her mother. Disrespectful son. That woman was SP Regina Pilgrim of Western North Carolina.
I learned my lesson about jumping in.
Waiting.
See, Billy's respectful. He's not jumping in. He's laughing at your shit, okay? He's a secondhand dish. So these are the end of the confirmed victims of the Bible Belt Strangler. However, there are several suspected victims.
Hiding somewhere.
Why do we do shots before we do this?
I'm trying to make light of the situation.
March 29th, 1985, 27-year-old Priscilla Ann Levins, her skeletal remains were found along Interstate 40 in Waynesville, North Carolina. It is believed that her body was laid there for a decade.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, there was no Jesus here in the Bible Belt. She was identified in 2012 via DNA and dental records. She had reddish blonde hair, however, no cause of death was determined. A few years prior to that, on May 25th, 1981, about a week after this episode will be out, law enforcement recovered a body from a water crossing in Dixon, Missouri, with evidence of trauma to the face and was strangled by pantyhose. She was found clothed but without shoes and was estimated to be between 25 and 40. She had black hair, which was different, but police still believe she was a potential victim due to the same modus operandi of other victims. She was promptly named the Pulaski Jane.
What the fuck is with the age gap again?
Again, this is the 80s. They're beat up pretty good. And this was like an initial, like the autopsy. They have to place it there. They do a further testing, which I was about to get to, Billiam.
Wow,
Right.
Billy.
Yeah, whoever fucking interrupt me, right?
Wow. Those inappropriate co-hosts.
Yeah, go get your hair dyed red. Go ahead.
I'm going to. Yeah. I haven't dyed my hair red since we started dating. Or the Harley Quinn stage.
Dye your hair red. So isotope testing showed that she only lived in Missouri for a short time and moved likely in the southeastern U.S. for most of her life. In 2019, the DNA Doe Project identified Karen K. Knippers, who was 33 when she was married. See, Billy, there's a fucking age for you.
Year of our Lord.
On February 13th, 1983, another nude body belonging to a Caucasian woman was found on Route 250 near Littleton, West Virginia, a small town less than 200 people. She was discovered by an elderly couple who was out for a walk and only reported the body after realizing it was not a mannequin.
Oof.
We pocket with a stick.
What is this? Oh, fuck, that's flesh.
Squishy.
However, she was recently placed there, which was evidenced by snow being on the ground but not on her body. There was also nearby tire tracks and footprints, which indicated she was brought there and discarded. Autopsy showed that she was killed 2 days before and was not a victim of sexual assault, unlike most of these other women. Her cause of death was not determined, but she did have auburn-colored hair.
This guy's fucking around in snow. Idiot.
Now, she was one of the older of the victims, being between 35 and 45. Billy, is that close enough of an age for you?
It's still a 10-year gap. I mean, they can do a little better.
Can never fucking please anyone. Police did not believe that she was a woman of the night or a transient because her hygiene was really good. Her teeth were good. She was really well shaven. She was groomed, all this stuff. So, women, if you're going to go out on a truck ride, shave yourself. You'll look good for an autopsy. Oh, I can't make fucking terrible jokes.
I'm just saying, like, that's always like one thing that I grew up. Someone had once told me,
Don't get with a trucker.
they always told me like to be mindful of what you wear when you go out because you never know the day you die, like what you're gonna be. They might have to cut you like your clothes off to like your undergarments or how you look underneath to whether you're shaved, your legs. They're like even if you don't die, like you
Well, that could have
always
in this
be
instance.
well, like always be aware of how you present yourself. And and it always stuck with me.
Well,
Like, if I get
here
in
it
a
is.
car
It's
ac
relevant.
if this, like, cuts me off and I, like, brake checked him, like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy I shaved today."
How's my hair?
Well,
And
they
I'm like
wouldn't
or,
know you're not a lot lizard.
"I didn't shave today and my hair's a mess," like, I'm gonna look like I'm gonna look like shit going on that autopsy table.
What was that, Billy?
That's how they know she's not a lot lizard.
That's how they knew she was not a lot lizard. Exactly.
But that always stuck with me. Like, I don't always think of it, but when, like, that instant happens when you're driving, I think of it. It sticks in the back of my mind.
Listen, the first thing I think of when I get into a near accident is like, did I brush my teeth today?
Why?
How many strokes of deodorant did I put on?
Is that what you think?
Sometimes.
Like, someone has to, like, rescue you, like, "Did you put on deodorant?"
Who gives a fuck?
I mean, when you die, they shave you, they groom you.
Yeah, you're getting
They
bombed
do
anyway. Like, what?
I'm getting incinerated. I mean, all
Throw
the
me in
hairs
the oven.
I just
Speaking of, today I learned that pubic hair could be very good at helping start a fire in the campfire.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I could see how.
So when we book our camping trip, I just won't shave.
Me neither.
Okay,
try
no
me.
nope, we're good.
We have to save them in Ziploc bags.
Ooh,
Could you imagine? Who
no.
wants roast marshmallows?
What is that? We didn't start the fire with the bag of pubes.
Witnesses reported seeing a white male in the area, about 5'10" and between 185 to 200 pounds. So like me, but shorter. I shouldn't say that. What was I up to in the 1980s?
You bored.
My parents were barely born.
That's what he wants you to believe.
You don't know where I'm born.
I wasn't even born.
This woman's identity was never discovered, but some do believe that she was seen at a bar in nearby Wheeling, West Virginia. A woman's body, who would be identified as Lori Pennell, after years of being another Jane Doe, was discovered murdered on January 24th, 1985 in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Fun fact, not many olives there. She was found by a trucker driving south on US 78, 100 feet east of a river. She was missing shoes, undergarments, and her jacket. The fact that a trucker found her kind of struck me a little bit.
What
Like,
is that?
How'd they know she had a jacket?
science, forensics. Moving on. Her cause of death was ruled by strangulation with possible sexual assault. She was 22 at the time. Billy, is that specific enough?
Yeah, nailed it on that one.
Like a month, a day, or we go just a year?
Can I have date of birth?
Okay. Can never please these fucking people anymore. Everyone's a goddamn critic. Another thing that's noticeable was her fingernails were severely bitten, like down to the fucking what's below a nail?
Cuticle.
Nubs.
Cubicle.
Cubicle.
Yeah, cubicle. April 14th, 1985, the body of a young female was found in Greenville, Tennessee. See? Tennessee's green. Beautiful. She was in an advanced state of decomposition, not green, was killed 3 to 6 weeks prior via severe blunt trauma and possibly stabbed. Police were able to obtain DNA samples and fingerprint samples, and she was also 6 to 8 weeks pregnant at the time with evidence of a miscarriage.
Jesus.
Yeah, keep making fucking jokes, you two.
That was Billy.
Can I get an age?
Actually, yes, right here. She was between 14 and 20 years with dark hair.
Oh. Oh. I don't feel good about that.
Yeah. I literally just said, you want to keep making jokes? Where's her age?
Billy, why would you ask about that? It's like
She's
you're asking
possibly
for
a minor.
It's like you're asking for the "it gets worse" button.
I know it's coming already.
Like I said, a year ago, this would be fucking like depressing. But now it's like, well, it's gonna happen. I mean, just
how are we topping that one?
Well, multiple missing women were ruled out as they did not match the dental files that this person had. She would be eventually identified in 2018 as a minor, 17-year-old New Hampshire native Elizabeth Lamont.
Oh,
I don't feel good about that.
Well, her family basically did not give a shit about her, so she kind of left. It was abusive household, stuff like that. So she was actually last seen at 17 living in a group home, and her family never reported her missing, never cared. The only reason she was identified was because her family was asked to provide a DNA sample for a separate case, the Bear Brook murders, which got my interest because, alliteration, BB. But then I saw one of the victims was a infant. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to skip this one.
My bad.
Yeah, thanks, Billy.
Why do you always have to ask questions, Billy?
So there is another Pulaski County Jane Doe that was found on 4/20, 1985 in Wrightsville, Arkansas.
420.
There it is. I literally paused when you're going to see fucking 4/20.
Do it. He's like, wait a minute.
I literally wrote down April 20. That last second, I'm like, you didn't say 4/20. This is for Billy.
You open that door and I burst right through it.
Yep. Just proceeds to get worse.
Cool.
She was estimated, I think I might have got past the worst things already. I don't know. There's fake titties coming up. She was believed to be between 30 to 40 years old. However, not much was known about her besides she had blondish red hair color and had a previously fractured her left femur. Her identity was never discovered, so she's still her. If there's family that does care about her, they're still wondering to this day. A Rowan County Jane Doe was found on August 29th, 1987 in Tennessee and is estimated between 35 and 50. Billy, stop. We'll get there. Actually, I don't think I put her age in here. Whoops. She was a natural brown hair, but she dyed her hair with reddish hair, and her body was also burned in what police believed was an attempt to hinder identification efforts. Several factors helped identify her in 2023 as Betty Lou Weasley of Knox County, including a gunshot wound to her vertebrae that she suffered before this murder. The bullet was actually still in there. She had breast implants and a hysterectomy and tracheotomy, along with some distinguishable moles.
You're waiting for me to make a joke? Nope.
No, I literally just scanned the next paragraph. Is there a fucking date range in here before you say some smart ass comment?
Oh yeah.
I'm like preparing for your preparations. In 1980, C. Lynn Jaworski was found strangled to death in Rising Fawn, Georgia. No one else was rising that day. She remained unidentified, but was reported missing 4 months later on January 1989 after the body was discovered. So 4 months after she was discovered, that's when someone finally reported her missing.
Oh, imagine that.
It was her mother too that identified her. We're gonna tie everything into this fucking piece right here.
What a fantastic mother.
So her mother told police that Stacy informed her that she planned to hitchhike from North Carolina to Flint, Michigan, which was where she was originally from. But she just heard, yeah, I'm gonna hitchhike, and then 4 months later, nothing, and finally, hey, by the way, thing.
What a time to be alive.
Fuck, it was the 80s. She was originally thought to be around 16, but was
Ooh,
later
Billy.
assumed to be between 25 and 35. Insert comment from Billy.
I mean, we've still 10 years. Can we get a little better?
I just thought it'd be worse for you because they had an exact age and they just changed it to a whole different 10-year time period.
Oh, yeah. So, like, most of these fucking throw anything at the wall guesses is probably wrong.
Well, it's also because they don't make it too precise to where, like, say you report someone who's like 30 to 32 and a detective from wherever sees like a 28-year-old or 27-year-old, it's like, oh, this is fit their description, then whatever.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I waited till we're near the end to say that.
Wow, let me be an asshole the entire time.
Don't act surprised.
Yeah, all right.
So she would not be identified until March 2022, and months later, it was believed that truck driver Henry Rise killed her. He had a lengthy criminal history, but could not face trial due to burning to death in a car accident in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in 1999.
So wait, wow.
Hmm.
That's a huge fucking difference.
Between death and identification?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Most of these women died in the 80s and were not identified till
But
the
that's what I'm
late
saying, like,
2010s, early 2020s.
it's just so crazy to think of, like, how can you imagine just being dead for all that time?
Well, it had to do with a lot of like advancements of DNA
I
technology and
I
stuff
get,
like
like,
that.
fingerprints and DNA and just everything. It's just I can't imagine just being some poor schmuck just labeled, toe tagged, cremated, or buried somewhere as a Jane Doe, and your loved ones, like, almost 30 years later, are dead and gone, and you're finally identified, and they
And
can't give
nobody's
you
there.
no one's there to give you a
I
proper.
mean, they said it's a common problem with like, especially in big cities, like homeless, like they die and like they just put a tag on them, and how much effort is to actually identify them.
My uncle was dead for almost a year before they were able to, because he didn't have any teeth,
Yee.
and he died of, asphyxiation. He, was homeless, and he had, choked on his own vomit in an alley, and they John Doe'd him, and it took a long time for them to come back with blood work to find out, because he
It's
was
not a priority. I mean,
no, homeless people are not a priority right
no.
time, and this was 15, 20, almost 50, about 15 years ago. And he was just the homeless people that they don't give a shit about.
No.
And the fact that he already lost all his teeth, they had no dental records, so they were like, "Oh, okay, we'll just put this on a back burner or something." Like,
Yeah,
it
when
was
we get to it, we get to it.
some poor schmuck
It's
killed
pretty
him.
sad.
Yeah, some poor schmuck drank himself to death, but, we'll eventually get to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Last possible victim was Donna Sue Nelton, who was found murdered in May 7th, 1990, in Rogers, Arkansas, who was originally also another Jane Doe. She was found off of Highway 102, close to the state line with Oklahoma and Missouri. Several bones were recovered, along with a buckshot from a shotgun in her skull, which again changes like the whole method of killing. Like she was shot in the head. A local individual reported a fire, but believed it was just someone that was burning trash. However, investigators believe she was shot dead, lit on fire, and then run over by the killer's vehicle to try and hide her identification. And as you said, she was killed in 1990. She was identified October 25th, 2022 by Author Incorporated as Donna, and she was last reported seen in the fall of 1989. Now, her boyfriend, George Alvin Breton, was the original murder suspect who previously spent time on the FBI's most wanted list in 1979 after he took two families hostage and wounded two officers in a gunfight in Utah. He was also seen dumping her belongings into a dumpster in Kansas City, and her car was found in a storage unit that belonged to him. He was already serving a lifetime prison sentence for drug charges, and he died in prison in 2008 before he could face trial for this. Now, a massive investigation was launched during these murders. However, the investigation was hindered by most victims being estranged from their families and also not being native to the states that they were found in. Like I covered, Indiana, where they weren't required to report these reported missing people to a national database. It was just they probably threw on a fucking folder, as we just talked about your uncle. It was just whatever if they come up because they were women that were prostitutes. They were hitchhikers. Nobody gave a shit. They had families that didn't look out for them. There were some people in the states that did care. Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi all requested help from the FBI because it actually stems from what they covered in their class.
Like accidentally.
They just got really into it. They an FBI person came in and talked to them, and they were finding things that he told them like there's like 4 things you got to look for: an MO, gotta make sure geography, timelines, and I forgot what the 4th thing was.
I think
And
there's like videos of it somewhere.
Yeah, there are. Well, the teacher, he ended up doing a podcast about. I should have put the name down. It's my fault. But that's where a lot of this information comes from because they did a lot of work. They're the ones that identified Jerry as being a suspect because they identified him in 2018, and then a short time while out of nowhere, police believed he was a suspect. And then suddenly they found DNA evidence. So it's like these kids are probably good detectives. But the teacher was actually very astonished because like not only were these kids finding evidence and all this stuff, like they found like the definition of empathy and all of that because they just felt sad. Like they felt sad for these women. Like we just said, they were estranged from family. No one cared about them, but these kids cared about these victims and wanted to find their true identities.
There's actually there's a project called the Doe DNA project.
We talked about this in here.
Yeah. But it's a similar thing. It's people, a nonprofit organization that are people who volunteer their time, their efforts, and it just reminds me of that. And I will always bring it up. It's such an amazing organization that people.
Which one of these women was found through that? Did I not put it in here?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's my. Well, I was doing this when I was on breaks at work, so I might have missed that. But oh no, here it is. Yeah. Oh, I did. No, I did put. I just missed it when we were talking about the one from Missouri. Here we go. I said that later. I bring up isotopes. The DNA Dope Project used isotope testing to show that this one woman lived in Missouri for a short time and lived in the. Oh yeah, it was Karen K. Nippers. Yeah, that's what they used the Doe Project.
The Doe Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DNA Doe. Yeah, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
No matter what you did in life, you deserve to have that closure, and your family deserves to know.
Yeah. I mean, not only you as a person who's lived a full life, but the family who gets to put you to rest. I mean, your soul deserves that, and your family deserves the closure. And that's just so amazing that people actually do that.
But that will conclude my topic for today. Thank you for listening to me ramble about more unsolved serial killings. If you enjoyed this piece, please do go back and listen to me ramble about Bible John in a previous episode. Actually, that was a 2-parter, so 2 episodes. If not, next week I'll be taking a look into something spooky.
Are you telling me that we're gonna go
possessions?
More spooky, and it gets worse? Because
I go into some possessions next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say exactly what it is, but I'm going spooky.
We all went a little dark this week.
We did. We should probably line it up next week. But I do believe that is all we have for today. Yeah? Billy?
Yeah.
So that's casual reminder here that my co-host made fun of me for not writing the outro until right before we started. So fuck you guys for not understanding the method. However, for the fans who truly the true rejects out there who enjoyed this week's episode for whatever we brought with it. We hope your Mother's Day was success, unless they're toxic as shit. But until next week, full fucking send it.
Full
Well
fuck.
said it. Yeah.